Happening right now, the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office is giving an update on yesterday's shooting near Reynolds High School. That shooting sent one student to the hospital. We're going to listen in.
First of all, I want to thank the District Attorney's Office. I want to thank City Councilwoman Ms. Hall. I want to thank Assistant Police Chief Manny. I want to thank all of you all, Ms. Manning from the school system. I want to thank all of you all that are here present in the room. Basically wanted to be here this morning to update you, let you know what happened yesterday, and basically let you hear from all of the stakeholders in this community to let you know what's going on, as well as where we are with the investigation. Again, I want to thank all of the first responders yesterday, all of you all. You are amazing people in this community. Yesterday at approximately 3:45, 3:47, we got a call for service at the campus of Reynolds High School. We responded. One male victim had suffered a gunshot wound. He was transported to Atrium Hospital, where he is recovering now. I spoke with the mother yesterday, transported her to the hospital, spoke with her again this morning. She wanted me to share with you all that her son is doing well. She appreciates the prayers, she appreciates the phone calls. She also wanted me to reiterate that she wanted the community to put their guns down. She wanted me to let you know that she wanted this to be resolved, not in the streets, not retaliation, but she wanted to be resolved with the right way. What I will say to you yesterday is that I was sharing with Ms. McManus last night is that things ran so smoothly yesterday that it was scary, and it reminded me that we've done this too many times before in this community, a shooting in our community. We've done this too many times. While the young man will be all right, he'll never forget what happened to him yesterday, the psychological effect. He'll never walk the same way. But I want you to know that as a community, we are better than this. We've got to do better in terms of the shooting, the incidents. And so the purpose of this is to let you know where we are. It's an active investigation going on. We are questioning and talking with the people. We want to thank the community for the calls that we're getting as it relates to this, the numbers of calls that we're getting. And so that is the purpose of being here. I'm going to let the next person speak and share with them. At the end, we will allow you to ask questions, and just want to let the community know where we are and what we're doing as it relates to this.
Thank you, Sheriff Kimbrough. So I just want to say words of thanks to our law enforcement partners. As always, they responded swiftly. They were on campus very quickly. And as soon as the district was notified, the school, although they were in dismissal, so it makes it a little more complicated. It wasn't inside the building, it happened outside. That students were taken right back into lockdown. And so this is why it's always so important that we practice regularly what happens in the event of a lockdown or when we have to lock down a campus, and that can be at any time of the day, and dismissal included. And so I think this is where we're practicing these things is so important. So as soon as we received word, our school did go into lockdown, and that meant with kids everywhere, you take them wherever they can go in a lockdown. And so it wasn't your typical stay in your classroom kind of lockdown, but it happened quickly. Thank you to the staff at Reynolds and to the principal who remained calm through this entire thing, who all did their part in bringing kids inside. Again, some kids had already left, some kids were still on campus. And then also to the entire reunification process where our students that were left on campus at both campuses were taken to a safe space to reunite with their parents. I received word last night by that 7, all students had been reunited with their parents. So from the lockdown to the reunification, I just want to thank everyone who participated in that, from our law enforcement partners to district staff who showed up to make sure kids were okay, and also to the staff at Reynolds and to our parents and families who were very supportive throughout the process yesterday. Our kids are back in school today. Our school is in session today. We have a crisis team there, and we do that in any kind of incident or any kind of threat or anything that would make anyone feel unsafe. The crisis team is there talking to students, talking to staff. The staff met this morning to make sure we were there to provide the resources that our kids and our employees need in times like this. So that is what has happened today. We did get a quick check on the way here about attendance, and it's probably double from yesterday's attendance as far as parents that felt the need to keep their children home. We will work with families. We will continue to have our staff there to respond to any students that need additional help. But again, thank you to everyone. We are so, so appreciative that our student is okay and that everyone has rallied around our school to make sure everyone's safe today. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Assistant Chief Matty Gomez from the Winston-Salem Police Department. We're here this morning to, number one, thank the men and women of the Winston-Salem Police Department for their swift response to this incident. As the sheriff mentioned, we've had too many of these incidents happen in the past. So we'd also like to thank the Sheriff's Office personnel, Highway Patrol, and other law enforcement agencies that responded to the area. Swift actions came with good results, so we thank them for that. As a member of the police department, we are wanting to assure the public that we work well together with the Sheriff's Office. We're sharing information. Our swift response came with sharing of intelligence and all sorts of information that allowed this investigation to move forward. So as we continue, we were upstairs discussing a minute ago, what can the general public, what can the business community, what can anybody do to help with these type of situations, right? Some of these situations happen and people often ask, what can we do to help out with these incidents? Well, small thing that we can do is we ask the community to make sure that they register their cameras with the Real-Time Crime Center and the Arctic for the Sheriff's Office so that we can have access to certain camera feeds that prove vital when we investigate these type of incidents. From a business perspective, they can get linked up with our Connect Winston-Salem at connectwinstonsalem.org, share their feeds, reach out to us, reach out to the Arctic so that we can ensure that we have those feeds, again, that are vital as we continue with this process and the investigations moving forward. So from that perspective, be assured that we are working together and we appreciate all the help from the Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jim O'Neill. I'm the Forsyth County District Attorney. And I want to first of all thank the Sheriff's Department, thank the City of Winston-Salem, the Police Department, folks from the school system that responded so quickly to try and be sure that the students over at Reynolds had everything they needed. The investigation is ongoing, so I've advised law enforcement they're not to talk about the facts of this particular case. We know that you are going to have questions. You're going to want Sheriff Kimbrough to answer specific questions about what happened. We're not at a point where we can do that, and as his advisor, I'm telling him and advising him not to do that. So please understand when it's time for your questions that we're limited in what we can release right now. As the district attorney, I also have spent the last 20 years coaching lacrosse over at Reynolds High School. So this was a very upsetting call, of course, that I received yesterday from law enforcement. My team was out there practicing yesterday. The thing that's unique about Reynolds High School geographically, of course, is that it's right down there at Haynes Park. This did not occur inside the school. This was outside, and Reynolds High School is a matter of blocks from the downtown area. So I feel safe, and I want the parents of Reynolds to know that I feel safe, and I walk around there all the time, and I have done so for the last 20 years. So rest assured that law enforcement will continue to work this case diligently, and those that are responsible for this will be brought to justice. As a final comment, the law has changed December 1st. In the past, if a juvenile, 16 or 17-year-old, committed a violent crime in North Carolina, they were taken to juvenile court. Well, as of December 1st, if anybody committed a robbery, a shooting, what we describe as an A through E punishment felony, which includes robberies, shootings, things of that nature, violent crimes, 16 and 17-year-olds now are going to be brought to adult court immediately. Okay, there is no further hurdles that my prosecutors have to jump over and clear in order to get a juvenile into Superior Court. Law enforcement has that authority from the jump, from the arrest, to take a 16 or 17-year-old directly to adult court. I will continue to work, as my office will, closely with Superintendent McManus, the school system, and law enforcement to be sure that all of our campuses, all over Forsyth County school system, are kept safe. And if anybody were to commit a violent crime on those campuses, I can promise you, as I have in the past, the punishment will be swift and severe. We will keep our school system safe here. Thank you.
So at this time, we'll open the floor for questions that we can answer. If we cannot answer them, then as Mr. O'Neill said, you'll get the standard answer that is the ongoing investigation. So I'll open the, yes, ma'am.
I can imagine you can't answer this, but do you know if you're looking for one suspect or a group of suspects?
We're looking for a person or persons, anyone that is involved in this incident as who we are looking for. Ongoing investigation. Yes, ma'am.
I see someone here from Winston-Salem State. Why are they here?
Well, she's not from Winston State.
Oh.
She is the city council. This is Miss Regina Hall. I wanted to let you know that she was in the room and she chose not to speak. She just wanted to be present to let her ward know that she is here in support because it took place in her ward. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
As you said, we've been in this situation many times before. What can we do to help protect our children in these schools?
You know, that's a great question. We were having that same conversation upstairs this morning as well as yesterday. You know, public safety is just what it is, public safety. We need the entire public to be a part of this. As Assistant Chief Gomez was saying, is that we want people to register your camera system, businesses that have cameraing systems throughout this community. We want you to register them. Allow us to put up real-time intelligence camera. Allow us to put up the cameraing systems that we use, because systems like this help us in times of crises. You know, the school system is looking for a lot of ways for trying to include safety measures in the school, from clear gate to the metal detector system. We need funding for that. You know, if there's someone out there that can help us with the funding for that. There's so many things that you can get involved in. And if you would like to be a part of the solution, you can contact the school system, the sheriff's office, the police department, and I'm sure we will find a way to use your resources. Because here's what I will tell you. You know, yesterday people were asking, is the young man all right? You know, is the wound life-threatening? The wound may not have been life-threatening, but it was life-changing. The psychological effect that he will endure. You know, when we walked into the gym yesterday evening, the reunification, to see the crying, to hear the kids crying and screaming as they're running away from this, the horror of the years will loom with them forever. You know, the psychological effect that our children are having to endure. You know, we are forcing our children to be something that they want to be, that they have to be, rather than what they want to be. You know, let's allow them to be children. Let's force them into this place. And that's why when I say we are better than this, we can be better than this, right? But it's going to require all of us. Yes, sir.
Sheriff Kimber, thank you for your time today. WXII was made aware of a post circulating from your department asking ring owners in the area for any footage related to this event, describing some of the suspects as Hispanic. There were 4 of them, and their clothing. Can you confirm that that's accurate?
Well, you know, this office, not a department, but this office is huge, and so I have no ideas in terms of the particular when you saw that. I was last updated about an hour ago. As it relates to the description of the people that they're looking for, I would be speaking out of turn if I said or confirmed that. I would have to confirm that. But what I will tell you is that we're looking for a person or persons, one or multitude of people. And of course, if you have doorbell cameras, because information is powerful. There may be information that you may have captured on your camera that puts this piece and this puzzle together. Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to tell us anything about the victim? I know that you have, spoken with his mother. I mean, what grade? Did he even play sports? Kind of give us a little bit of backstory on that.
What I can tell you is that he is a student in the Forsyth County school system. What I can tell you, it is a he. In terms of what he did at the school or anything like that, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you his name. What I can tell you is that his mother wanted me to relay to you that her son is a good child, a good student, and he is a great student in school and has nothing to do with any type of activity other than being a student and working. And she wanted me to make sure that I press upon that. Again, she reiterated that this morning. Yes, ma'am. And then you.
I have kind of a two-questioner. Is there anybody in custody, and are the suspects believed to have been 16 or 17 based on the DA's comments?
Well, what I can tell you is that I have no idea the age of them. We don't know that yet. I can't speak for the age of them because I don't know that. As of right now, we do not have anyone in custody. We do not. Yes, sir.
Did the victim give your investigator the description of the suspects?
What I can tell you is that it's an ongoing investigation, and I can't tell you what the victim said. I can't tell you that. Yes, ma'am, and I'll come to you. Yes,
Following the
ma'am.
event at Glen High School earlier, last week, and then surfaced earlier this week, we're getting reports that Glen High School is in lockdown right now. Can you confirm or deny that?
I'm standing here with you. My phone hadn't dinged. If it is, it's a hold.
It's a hold, which is not a lockdown.
It's a hold, not a lockdown. Yes.
Can you explain what exactly that means?
So a hold can happen when there's something happening in the surrounding area, or even in the school. It could be that a child got sick in the hallway, or it could be anything that happens that you need kids to stay on hold while it's resolved. But a lockdown is where you are locking down your entire perimeter, you're locking doors to keep kids from leaving or keep anybody from coming in. It's very different. We have this is part of our standard response protocol, and so we are very clear with our parents and our families what each of these things means. So no, if it was a lockdown, they probably wouldn't be here right now.
So it's unrelated to what happened at Reynolds yesterday?
Jonathan's in the room, I'm sorry. I don't know, because I didn't know there was a lockdown, but there's a hold right now.
So there was a fight at the school.
Okay.
And so the school's on hold. It's nothing to do with that.
Unrelated. So what
Unrelated.
happened at school that's just keeping kids in their classrooms while it's cleared up is unrelated.
Minor incident, kids on hold, and business as usual. Yes, ma'am. You said
Is there an update on an arrest on that situation?
on which situation?
The Glen High School situation?
You talking about today?
No.
You talking about last week? No, ma'am. There has not been an arrest. Again, that's an ongoing investigation. We are currently still working on that one as we speak. Yes.
A question for Superintendent McManus, a clarifying question based on some comments you said earlier about attendance. I may have been confused. Did you say attendance doubled today compared to
Yeah.
yesterday?
So yesterday, and I don't know an average day at Reynolds what the attendance is. I don't know that, but I did check on it today. And yesterday in first period, there were close to 300 students out, which is a lot, by the way. We need to find out why on a regular day. And then today, there were probably close to 600. So it was about double today. And in speaking to the principal, he said some parents have called. And even though the announcement went out last night, a couple that said that there would be extra security, extra law enforcement on campus today, plus support for children that need it. Some have reached out to the principal and said they felt like they just wanted to keep their children home today, which we respect that. But I will say that we have resources on site, and so we feel that many students need those resources, which is why we continue to stay open today.
What is the enrollment of Reynolds High School?
Oh my goodness. I think it's, we just looked at that. We thought this was about a 1,200, 1,400, about 1,200, between 12 and 1,400 kids.
17.
Hmm?
17.
Oh, we were lowballing it then. That was 1,700, sorry, 1,700. I thought that was about maybe a third of the enrollment, so about 1,700, about 600 out this morning. And that was first period, so if we take attendance a day throughout the day, we can re-report that, but that was first period of the day.
It was the right answer. You gave it 12 minus 6. Right. That was a good one. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
We talked a few months ago about Sheriff's Office starting to use drones to help with security at school, and I'm wondering if they were used yesterday at all.
So, we do use drones. That was not one of the schools where we have the drones.
Okay.
We have the drones at nearby schools that have public libraries. So, no, we don't have one there. Yes, ma'am. Then you.
I had a question for this.
Sure. Officer.
I'll come in.
Last night you had referred to this as a community-involved incident. Are you able to explain what that means?
Just that we are all part of fixing these issues of violence that happens. At the time when I said that I know nothing, I also said that I don't know anything about the actual what happened in this incident. All I know is one of our students, it's a collective effort here, was injured through a gunshot. I don't know the details of that, but what I will say is to fix this problem will take all of us. And I've had many community members reaching out the last 2 days on what they can do. People want to be part of the solution. I think we've heard some things today that businesses and surrounding residents can do to actually support the investigations. But I think on the front end of that, we talk a lot about prevention and a lot about what we can do. We have many organizations in our community that work with students and work with when they're younger, work with through them with issues and mental health concerns, behavioral health. We need to continue to invest in those organizations so that we can get students the services they need.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
to follow up for superintendent, yesterday we were at the reunification spot, Harris Teeter off Cloverville Ave.
Yes.
Parents are very fed up, for lack of better terms, of the way that things are going at these high schools.
Mhm.
What do you have to say to them?
Well, I will say that I am, they need to come in and see the high schools. You heard Mr. O'Neill, what he said. I'm in our high schools and schools regularly. Yes, it is very frustrating to see that children are doing anything that's violent or anything that would put another child in harm's way. But honestly, the majority of the time, that is not what you see. And so I invite anybody that wants to visit our schools. I have started something last month, started at Mount Tabor. We're doing it again in January, but I have several a month where we are inviting anyone in the community into our high schools, and it's called See for Yourself. Because I think what's very important is that we do not create a narrative that those incidents that are isolated in nature is what is happening on a daily basis in our classrooms and schools. Actually, it's the opposite of that. So what I would say is spend the day in your child's school. If you are concerned, reach out to your child's principal, come in and let you see on a day-to-day what is happening, what are all the safety protocols in place, and talk to some of the students that are there, because they also will be part of of a different narrative. So that is what I would say. But we are, honestly, the safety of our children is our number one priority. Academics comes in second. Safety is number one. And that is what we are focused on every day with every protocol, every drill, every piece of hardening that we've done on our campuses, what we will continue to do, in addition to the many programs that are connecting kids to school or connecting them to mentors or connecting them to community programs where they're getting additional resources they need. So what I would say is, yeah, it is frustrating that our children post-pandemic do have more mental health concerns than prior. Not that it hasn't always been an issue, but it has been heightened. So let's all be part of the solution as we move forward.
So I got time for two more questions, but I want to piggyback off of something that you said that you asked Ms. McManus, and you talked about people are fed up, right? It's not really a fair question because a lot of the issues that are surfacing in the school originate in the community, and they surface in the school. It's no different than the police responding to the issues, no different than the school system. That is why we need a community effort to resolve the issues that are happening in the school, i.e. funding, i.e. resources, i.e. volunteers. Got time for two more questions. Yes, sir.
Kimbrough, has there been any video that you guys have been able to acquire that you've been using as evidence that may have shot the lead up to this incident? And if you do have some of that video, is that proving helpful?
Again, it's an ongoing investigation. Got time for one?
Are you able to tell us if there have been any other reports to Reynolds High School involving a firearm this year?
No, and actually, firearms have been reduced dramatically this year. We've had one, and I can't even remember at this point. One at Carver earlier this year. That was it this year so far. So no.
And I have a follow-up real quick on the side of this end. Obviously, this isn't a school issue. This isn't a law enforcement issue. This is a parent issue. This is a community issue. So how do we get these parents and the community members into these programs? How do we get them to take these next steps? Because I mean, we can do what we do. Y'all can do what y'all do, but they're still going to sit at home, and situations like this are going to keep happening.
I'll say one thing, and then I'll let Sheriff, because he probably has a more extensive answer, because you are continuously referencing, your team is recommending students for different programs in our community. We just had a meeting earlier this week with School Justice Partnership, which is a partnership between law enforcement, between Mr. O'Neill's office, between community organizations that are part of our JCPC programs, so our juvenile crime prevention programs, and they're referring kids to these programs. They're not always taken up by the parents of some students. We need to figure out, like we've got to, I always say, you don't just build it, offer it, and hope people will come to it. We need to really make sure people get into these programs. If we have a child that is recommended and we know that service is going to work, we've got to get our parents. I know that's not the answer, like, well, how do you get the parent to say, yes, we're going to do this? But I think we need to partner with our parents in such a way that they know that we have their best interests of their children at heart, and that these resources in our community are going to help. And we also, again, to Sheriff's point, we need to keep funding these resources. These folks are fighting for resources to keep their programs alive, from restorative circles they're just all kinds of programs, parenting path, there's a multitude of programs that children need that are helping. So I will just say that we need to stay the course with that. Our law enforcement partners are doing an incredible job recommending students to these programs, and it's about, we need to make sure, number one, they're funded, and number two, that our parents get their students to be enrolled and attend.
I appreciate you all today. I appreciate you all taking time coming. And again, I want to reassure you that we will be out at the schools throughout the entire county. Again, just to reiterate that, we will be there all week to the end of the school breaking for the holiday. And so if you have any information you want to share, anything you need from us, you can contact us individually, the various agencies that we represent. Again, thank you. May God continue to smile upon this community. Love you all. Thank you.
All right, so we just heard an update about the shooting near Reynolds High School that took place yesterday. A couple of key takeaways there. The child that was shot, they are not naming that child. They're not saying how old he is. They are only referencing that it is a male student of the school and saying that they talked to the mom today and said that her child was doing well, shot in the leg, so it is not a life-threatening injury. When we're talking about who may have shot this student, Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough was very clear in saying we are looking for a person or persons of interest, but that is all of the details that they would give. Another quick key point on this, if the person who shot this student is 16 or 17 years old, as of December 1st, the law has changed, which means that because it is a violent felony charge, that they could be taken straight to adult court, and that juvenile court would not have any part in this. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. We're going to continue to be on this story for you, giving you live team coverage all throughout the day. You'll see it right here on WFMY News 2, WFMY Plus, and of course on WFMYnews2.com. We'll see you at noon.